Okay, and we are live. Welcome everyone to the opening ceremony for the AEZ Boost Hackathon. To those of you this is the first time you're hearing the acronym AEZ, it stands for Atom Economic Zone. And this is the opening ceremony essentially for the very first fully global, fully dedicated hackathon for Cosmos Hub and its ecosystem projects and existing ICS chains like Stride and Neutron and others. This is the very first hackathon that's fully dedicated to the Cosmos Hub, to the AEZ zone. So we're very, very excited to be presenting this opening ceremony to you today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brian and I'm with DoraHacks. I will be hosting not only the hackathon, but this opening ceremony here today. And if any time during the opening ceremony, if anyone in the audience has any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. We'll definitely get them answered live for you here. You can also feel free to reach out to me directly on Telegram. My handle is @BrianDora, and I'll be happy to answer your questions there as well. But with that being said, this is the very first event for this hackathon. Starting today, developers will be able to start working on the projects and submit them to the hackathon. We'll definitely get more into the details of this hackathon shortly. But overall, I just want to express how excited we are to be hosting this hackathon in conjunction with Atom Accelerator DAO, giving developers an opportunity to focus on core innovations as it relates to the Cosmos Hub infrastructure, governance, and tooling, as well as the Atom Economic Zone in general. We think that it's a very exciting opportunity. There's a $100,000 prize pool up for grabs for the top submissions, which is very generous and definitely we think is an amazing opportunity for developers that haven't had an opportunity to participate in a Cosmos Hackathon this year yet. But before getting more into details, I would love to welcome and introduce my two co-hosts of the opening ceremony today, Youssef from Atom Accelerator and Amir from LongHashX, both of who are going to be involved heavily in this hackathon as well, and their support is greatly appreciated as well. But maybe we start with Youssef, if you would like to come to the stage and also say some words of welcome and share why this hackathon is important to Atom Accelerator. Would love to have you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Brian, for the introduction. So I'm Youssef Amrani. I'm the co-founder and program manager of the Atom Accelerator. We're thrilled to have Atom Accelerator, DoraHacks, and LongHash join efforts to lead this hackathon. I wanted to share a quick word on Atom Accelerator that we also call AEDAO. We came to existence out of necessity as we recognized that there was a crucial need for a dedicated organization that would act on behalf of the Atom community and the Cosmos Hub community. We are the very first DAO under the jurisdiction of the Cosmos Hub. And our goal, one of our goals at least, is to issue grants to stimulate developer activity, and make the hub friendly to builders in general. So since our launch, we've founded close to 30 different projects and teams with key initiatives such as the revamp of Atom tokenomics that is underway as we speak now. We've also founded mesh security with other core teams such as Osmosis, Confio, and Juno. And then we also founded the much anticipated arrival of MetaMask snaps in Cosmos. So those are some of the projects that we've funded. Many more exciting announcements are coming. And as a last word on the Atom Accelerator, if you're a builder and you're interested in contributing to the future of the so-called Atom Economic Zone, please apply on our website, atomaccelerator.com. So now on the hackathon itself, if I'm not mistaken, it seems that this is the very first Cosmos Hub specific hackathon. So we're very proud of funding and organizing this event with LongHash and DoraHacks. And I also wanted to take the opportunity to thank Rina, who's one of the members of AEDAO, which we call the Cosmos Princess from AEDAO, who's been our point of contact for this event. She's been amazing, interfacing with all the key stakeholders, including DoraHacks and LongHash. I also want to thank the DoraHack team, who has been working with tight deadlines to make this event possible. And more specifically, you, Brian, it's been a pleasure working with you so far. I think this is a new era that is opening for the Cosmos Hub and all the partner chains. So Neutron, Stride, very soon others, Noble, Duality, other partner chains are in the pipeline. And this concept of atomic economic zone, what does it mean? It starts with security, but there is much more to the story, at least for myself. And the goal is really with the atomic economic zone is to develop win-win relationship between those partner chains and the Cosmos Hub. So we're working very closely with Neutron and Stride to foster innovation. We're very happy with the way collaboration has been going so far. I think there is a common interest is in making this concept a success, and very pleased to be here to open this ceremony. And I think that I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces, whether we're talking about the participants, the developers, or the judges and the jury. So it's really reassuring, and I feel grateful to see so many different partners working with that same energy, especially in this bear market that's been painful, but seeing that this bear market has not affected people's energy, that we know that we have a common goal, that we want to be successful in making a better decentralized future around within this amazing community that the Cosmos is in general. So thank you very much for coming, and I'm letting Amir share a word. Thank you.
Thanks, Yusuf. Take it away, Amir.
Yeah, no, thanks so much, Yusuf. Yeah, quick intro from my end. My name's Amir. I am a program lead at LongHash X, which is the accelerator arm of LongHash. Now, taking a step back, actually, LongHash here, we have two entities. We have the VC and we also have the accelerator. And well, in the spirit of, bringing more utility to Atom, our VC is very proud to have shared that, we joined in Neutron's recent fundraise. And with regards to the accelerator, we also are very excited, very humbled and grateful to be working closely alongside Atom Accelerator DAO. So Yusuf and his team, and also the folks from Neutron to run the world's first AEZ accelerator, which will be our 12th accelerator cohort. So we've done, accelerator cohorts with multiple ecosystem partners in the past. And actually the previous one, if I may share, which is the world's first cross-chain accelerator, we did that alongside XLR. And one thing to share from that is 80% of projects that went through our accelerator track has gotten subsequent funding. And all of them are currently working towards building a sustainable project, an exciting application for users to use. So that's our goal here. Our goal here is to work with 25 to 30 projects across our upcoming 2 tracks within the AEZ Accelerator to help them grow sustainably, to add more applications into the AEZ. And of course, with that, more demand and utility to Atom. And why is this hackathon, the AEZ Boost Hackathon, very important to us? Well, we all know that the time is now, right? I think the rejection of the Atom 2.0 white paper really raised the urgency, really rejuvenated the entire ecosystem. And with that, the entire ecosystem, the whole community is working together to really drive utility to Atom. And I personally have been a big fan of all the innovation that has come from the community, right? we were the among the pioneers of proof of stake. The whole idea of application-based layer ones, which is the whole app chain model, and to ensure that this innovation doesn't die down and it instead is rebirthed, we have to identify more opportunities for early stage developers to learn and hack around what's possible within the AEZ, and that's exactly what the AEZ Boost Hackathon will be doing. And in this collective effort, to build out great applications that users will eventually come in and use, that's where I see this sort of progression and collaboration between us three. So with DoraHacks running mainly the AEZ Boost Hackathon, and then the Long-Hash X Accelerator, which we're working also closely with Atom Accelerator DAO to build out these ideas that has been incubated from this hackathon, to building them to more sustainable and user-facing applications that can drive utility to Atom. So that's just a short, concise summary as to why I and also Long-Hash are very excited to be here today and to kick off the AEZ Boost Hackathon.
Thank you so much, Amir. And I think that you made some very important points there as well. Like us at DoraHacks, we're very, very excited to, one, have this opportunity to host a fully dedicated Cosmos Hub hackathon. And of course, the opportunity to work in conjunction with yourself at Long-Hash X and Yusuf and the Atom Accelerator DAO team as well, including Rena and many other very valuable team members. We think it's an amazing opportunity for developers and specifically the developers in our community as well. I think it's really important how you kind of like highlighted how very strategic and great of a job Atom Accelerator has done so far in promoting these ecosystem activations. Like, as you can see, they awarded DoraHacks a grant to facilitate this hackathon, right? That grant isn't going to DoraHacks, it's just for the developers of this hackathon, but they were able to facilitate that, and they were able to facilitate the Long-Hash X AEZ Accelerator as well, which at first glance kind of almost appear like two separate initiatives. But as you can see, like everything that AE DAO is doing is kind of building upon each other to, prop up the ecosystem, really support the community, and try to incentivize like core innovation for the AE zone, or the Atom Accelerator zone, I should say. So I just think it's awesome to see how some of your first recipients of grants, Yusuf, at the AE DAO team are already kind of like working together and building upon one another. And I think that is like very promising for the future. So look forward to like more, more grants like this in the future and more developer activations like this in the future as well. So with that said, I'd love to kind of dovetail more into this hackathon specifically. I'm sure developers and the audience are very interested to learn, what kind of the theme of the hackathon is, and what it's going to be about. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen at this point and take you to like the main information hub for this hackathon. This is where you can find all of the information that you would like to see. So I'm pulling it up now. I believe you can see my screen. Now, and this is basically it, everyone. This is the AEZ Boost Hackathon by Atom Accelerator and DoraHacks. It'll be running from now over the next 40 days through the end of September, in terms of like when submissions are allowed. So as I mentioned, it ends September 18th. Now until September 18th. This is a period that's going to be full of opportunities for developers, not only to submit their projects, but to participate in workshops, get FaceTime with the judge panel, engage in a whole wide range of content that we're going to be providing for developers during this hackathon. The other thing I'd like to mention again is the prize pool is $100,000. We think that the very best teams that submit to this hackathon will be able to obviously claim some of this prize pool, and we think that's a super exciting opportunity for developers as well. So kind of getting more into the detail itself. The purpose of this hackathon is to align all Cosmos Hub stakeholders by incentivizing individuals, organizations to explore and develop their ideas on Cosmos Hub by offering individuals and organizations non-dilutive funding to develop and further the Atom ecosystem. So what specifically does that mean? It means that really the main purpose of this hackathon is to have a dedicated event for the Cosmos Hub that is going to not only incentivize the ecosystem to create core innovations and very exciting projects, but to get the community excited about what can be built on the Cosmos Hub as well. As everyone here is probably well aware, Cosmos Hub does not have CosmWasm or like either permissionless or permissioned yet. But that does not mean that things cannot be built on the Cosmos Hub, and that does not mean the Cosmos Hub does not need developers to continue supporting its core infrastructure and core innovations as well. So one of the purposes of this hackathon is to inspire developers to build projects that are very valuable to not only the Cosmos Hub, but the Atom economic zone overall. So a brief timeline about this hackathon. As you know, the opening ceremony is occurring now on August 10th. There's going to be approximately 40 days of hacking, including today, through the end of September 18th. After September 18th, we will have a demo day period of 3 different days where we will be inviting the top submissions from this hackathon to demo their project live in front of the DoraHacks team, in front of the AA team, and of course in front of the judge panel. We think that'll be a very exciting opportunity, to get FaceTime with them and get core feedback for your project. And these, of course, will be recorded for your use as well. And then finally, right at the end of September, we'll have the closing ceremony where the winners will be announced, prizes will get distributed, and everyone will have an opportunity that's in the closing ceremony to basically share more about their project, what their future roadmap is, and seek additional resources from all the teams involved. So one of the most important parts about this, as I mentioned, is like, what is the track list? Like, what are some of the things that we would like to see developers building for this hackathon? And it's important to keep in mind that this track and idea list is not comprehensive, right? Like if you have something that's relevant to the hub and important that you want to build for the hub, you have our complete go ahead and do this. This is merely meant to be a starting point for developers that want to participate, but are seeking for a little bit of direction in terms of what to build. So overall, there's 3 different tracks, right? The first track is the infrastructure and tooling track. So basically, we're looking for things like dashboards and new analytics dashboards for the Cosmos Hub. Maybe there can be some security toolings around replicated security and mesh security. We're also looking at developer toolings like APIs and SDKs. There's a project called Abstract that developed a CosmWasm development framework to make it easier for developers to build in CosmWasm. And we think that having something like this for the Cosmos Hub and the Cosmos SDK in general, and some of the new modules that are coming out, could be incredibly valuable to developers looking to get started on the hub. I think that there are potentially some AI auditing tools for Cosmos developers that could be useful. Obviously, different app chain SDKs, even maybe some ZK CosmWasm that can be utilized for hub voting schemes. Even though, as I mentioned, there's no CosmWasm on the hub yet, there obviously are on-chain proposals that occur for the Cosmos Hub. A lot of these can be highly contested and controversial, especially when it comes to like core network upgrades, et cetera. So having, modified and better voting schemes can be very, very helpful to the continued sustainability and success of Cosmos Hub governance. I think having outpost dApps that can leverage liquidity and state from the hub are very important. This can be kind of akin to like the Osmosis App Store, where you have things like Mars that are leveraging liquidity. I think that this could be potentially very interesting infrastructure for the hub. On-chain communication, obviously, identity, different AA implementations for Cosmos Hub wallets, real-world assets being connected to IBC is definitely something relevant to the hub as well. And of course, just tooling that helps retail and institutional stakers and delegators assess validators more holistically, and tools that help even most evenly distribute stake to improve Nakamoto coefficient could be something quite valuable to the hub as well. Obviously, the second track, which we imagine will be a very, very big focus for this hackathon as well, is the ICS track. We would love to see new ICS consumer chains getting spun up during this hackathon. I think that this is a very good opportunity for developers who are interested in developing an ICS chain or a new consumer chain that leverages replicated security to basically push this to production during this hackathon. Would be fantastic. There's a lot of resources, a lot of visibility, and a lot of traffic from this hackathon that you will get as a developer if you're able to do this. So I think that if you're looking to get started on a new consumer chain, this is a great place to do so. You'll receive a lot of support and resources. So definitely encourage you to try this out if you're interested. I think another portion of this would be like an IBC multiverse idea where you maybe are connecting IBC to other ecosystems. You've seen this with projects like Composable Finance that are connecting Polkadot ecosystem to IBC, etc. Or maybe there's even some like ZK IBC projects that are connecting Starknet to Cosmos Hub and IBC. So just basically growing the proliferation of IBC as one of the top interoperability protocols throughout the entire multi-chain world can be very, very valuable to the sustainability of the hub as well. So we'd love to see projects that are able to submit that are doing this. And then of course, governance is a very important track for Cosmos Hub. I kind of touched upon this as well, but if you're submitting to the governance track, we would love to see things that are related to voting. We would love to see things related to MACI, which stands for Minimal Anti-Collusion Infrastructure, which is an idea first proposed by Vitalik, I believe back in 2018. And that's a way to prevent collusion among voting. You know, how do you make sure that voters aren't bribed? Maybe someone will receive an airdrop if they vote a certain way, et cetera. So MACI is essentially a way to ensure that there's no way you can cryptographically prove to someone else which way you voted. And obviously, if you can't prove to someone which way you voted, they have no incentive to buy your vote because they'll never receive evidence that you actually carried out the vote the way they wanted you to. So it's a huge disincentive for collusion. And we think it's critical infrastructure that we've seen a lot in other chains. DoraHacks overall is actually working on trying to bring this to Cosmos as well. But we would love to see some hackathon projects that are also working on this for the hub. We think the proliferation of voting technology is a super unexplored area, which is why we gave it its own track for the Cosmos Hub. Cosmos Hub can kind of be a leader potentially in like the best voting standards in all of Web3. And we think that could be like a great call to arms for voting and on-chain governance overall. If Cosmos Hub can lead in that, I think projects that are able to support this are very, very interesting. Kind of getting down more now, like that was a pretty good overview of tracks. Maybe I'll actually pause there now. No pressure, guys, Yusuf and Amir, but if there's any ideas that you think I haven't mentioned that you also think would be really cool for this hackathon that you'd like to mention now, please feel free to mention them as well. If not, I'll continue with the overview.
I think I'm good. You can continue, Brian.
I do have one thing to perhaps just add on. I think
Sure.
leveraging on existing consumer chains that's already, within the Atom Economic Zone. So building out on top of Neutron and Stride, these, the potential of building on alongside or integrating with them is something that developers could also consider. These are very, highly fluid, highly moving or moldable areas. So personally, a lot of great applications that I could potentially foresee with these two consumer chains and perhaps more that will come into play as well. Especially the ones that Yusuf mentioned, Noble and Duality as well.
I mean, I can add one, Brian. It would be on the governance side. I think one challenge that we have is that the the financial infrastructure around governance is not very flexible. So what do I mean by financial infrastructure? Is, for example, we don't have vesting, for example, or we don't have payment streams. So, for example, in our case, when we did Proposition 95 that established the Atom Accelerator DAO, we had to ask for the full amount, which was roughly 600,000 atom. But if we had that infrastructure to basically ask, for example, we have a 9-month mandate, so if we could have divided that 600,000 atom by 9 and having like divided payments over 9 months, that would have been I would say much less risk and more capital efficiency for the Cosmos, for us and for the Cosmos Hub treasury. And so I think that this can also be seen as DAO tooling, basically, and it seems like it's a detail, but when you think about it, it's not, because what happens if within the next 12 months 6-7 different sub DAOs or DAOs want to be created on the Cosmos Hub, you would have to fund the full amount every time, which is not very capital efficient. So anything that basically gives more flexibility in terms of payment streams at the DAO level, I think is something that we really want to see built on the Cosmos Hub.
Yeah, I think that's a very clairvoyant point, actually, and I can see that being super helpful as well. It also makes me think of another idea off the top of my head as well, something that we've thought about internally at DoraHacks and how it could be helpful would be things like ways to like innovations and ways to delegate voting power without having to delegate your tokens, or vice versa. We've actually seen some hackathon projects like this before, like Only Votes, which was actually developed by the Adair from Abstract at a previous hackathon that DoraHacks also helped co-host. But something like that can actually be brought to production and deployed on Cosmos Hub could be super helpful. Like, say you're someone and you want to delegate your tokens to a validator, but don't necessarily want to delegate your voting power to that validator as well. Or maybe you want to delegate your voting power. Maybe there is a validator company or something where they want to establish like a sub voting committee, right? So they want to be able to delegate the ability to vote to that DAO team, but not actually have to share like the private key of the validator to them. Things like this that can just improve security overall and voting ease, I think, could be helpful, and would love to see that develop during this hackathon. Okay, I think if that's it on the ideas, and once again, not comprehensive, please feel free to submit any idea you have that's relevant to the hub. This is just meant to be a starting point. I'll dive more into further details about the prize distribution. So it's pretty simple. There's a total pot of 100 grand. So that basically means 33,000 is allocated per track. The first place track winner for each track will receive $20,000. Second place, 10,000, and third place, 3,000. So that's like the initial prize distribution. But I think it would also be a good time at this point to point out that in addition to just the standard prize, like the standard prize distribution, winners of this hackathon will also be shortlisted for the Long Hash X AEZ Accelerator, which is something Amir mentioned at the beginning of this opening ceremony. This is a very exciting opportunity, obviously, because this is a very prestigious accelerator, very competitive. But if you submit one of the top projects and are interested in bringing it to production, and you want to not only win prizes from this hackathon, but receive continuation funding as well, incubational resources, and other guidance and help, like continuing to bring this project to market and launch, there is this Long Hash X Atom Economic Accelerator that will be here for you to help support this. So maybe Amir, I know I'm sharing my screen and I can kind of scroll down as you go. I don't know if you want me to share more about this exciting opportunity, or you would like to jump in and go over it yourself.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I believe everyone will have access to this page, and there's also some additional resources if you want to learn more. but as Brian mentioned earlier, the Atom Economic Zone Accelerator, so we have 2 tracks, and what we're planning to get out of this accelerator is to help build out these great ideas that's been introduced or incepted by you folks through the AEZ Boost Hackathon, and really help you by providing some of our resources, some of the some access to our extensive network of mentors. With the accelerator track, you will also get a dedicated venture builder from our team who will be working with you on an almost daily basis. So you can think of them as a sort of like a temporary co-founder to help you navigate these early stages before you get to a stage where you have sustainable funding, where you have a long-term idea on the roadmap that you would want to execute. But yes, without going too deep into the operations of the program, just want to highlight again that I do see a great synergy here and a great continuation for the projects that eventually wins the AEZ Boost Hackathon. And me personally, very excited to be connected and also to work with you a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Amir. And likewise, happy to be sharing this opportunity with our developer community and hackathon participants as well. As Amir touched upon, there's 2 tracks available to all AEZ Boost Hackathon participants in the LongHashX Accelerator program. There's the Cosmos Accelerator program where projects can receive an additional $100,000 in funding, even beyond the hackathon prize. And then, of course, there's the Cosmos Fellowship program as well, where they will receive like very much hands-on technical and developer support from both Neutron, Atom Accelerator DAO, LongHashX, etc. Get exposure to workshops and mentorship office hours, and just get really well connected with their network of venture capitals, of other resources, and of course, like incubational tools to help them succeed in the future. This LongHashX AEZ Accelerator is scheduled to start in the middle of October. And basically, you have until the 29th of September to apply to it, which coincides perfectly with the end of this hackathon. This may have been done on purpose, if you can kind of guess and surmise. We basically want to not like leave developers stranded at the end of this hackathon. Of course, like the whole goal of the AEZ Boost Hackathon is not only to get some very critical and very promising submissions, but it's to really onboard developers to the AEZ, provide them with as much mentorship and resources as possible, and provide continuation funding and additional incubational resources to the best teams that are really committed and want to continue developing for the AEZ. So please, if you are participating in this hackathon and interested in also applying to the LongHashX Accelerator, you can find all of the information here directly on this hackathon page. If you just come over to this tab here, all of the LongHashX information is right here. You can find out more information on their blog. And of course, the application form will be right here too. And if you're interested in learning more about Neutron, LongHashX, and AA DAO, you can find information and links for them right here. So I think now, like, I would love to actually go back to the details tab and just mention a few more things really quick. We went over the prize distribution, we went over the ideas, and we've talked about the LongHashX Accelerator as well. There are a couple requirements and criteria. Won't spend too much time on this, but important to keep in mind if you're a developer. Just some basic information that will definitely be required is things like a GitHub when you submit your hackathon project. We really prefer like open source is kind of the mantra, but if there is a scenario where you really don't want to open source your GitHub at this stage, but still like really want to submit to this hackathon and have like a great idea, we could talk about that being acceptable as well. But in any scenario, you'll always need to submit your GitHub repo, public or not, to the judges prior to the review period to be considered for a prize. Another requirement, of course, is a short demo video of the product that can be submitted to our website in the submission portal as well. and then this will be and then if you are invited to participate in one of the live demo days as well, this will be like a more in-depth demo that is presented on this day. And of course, this might be obvious, but the project will need to be submitted prior to the deadline, which is the middle of September. And then some of the criteria that your project will be judged upon is kind of like 5 different things. The first is innovation and originality. The second is something that is actually needed by the Cosmos Hub and the AEZ, as that is the purpose and that is the theme of this hackathon. And then some other things are user experience, potential for future growth. What that means is we'd like to see you have kind of a future roadmap in mind, things you'd like to add to the project overall, ways you're going to bring it to production, et cetera. And then lastly is completeness of this product. Projects that are most robust and detailed and very well thought out will obviously be viewed favorably by the judging panel. And then, of course, if you want to learn more about DoraHacks, Atom Accelerator DAO, you can read some information here. And at the very bottom of this page, I know it's at the bottom, but something that's going to be very important to note is the developer resources. This is where you can find information about how to, start developing on the Cosmos Hub using the Cosmos SDK. There's even some information about CosmWasm as well. And then, of course, there's a joinatom.zone link as well, so you can get involved in the community. Maybe you can find some team members if you want to start as a team. Other important things to note is that if you are looking for a team, you can do so directly in the DoraHacks Discord. We'll be able to help you find one. You can also reach out on Telegram to the handle @DoraHacksOfficial. We'd be happy to facilitate the formation of teams that way as well. And of course, you can connect directly with AADAO and LongHashX as well. And if they have any developers in their network that are still looking for teams, I'm sure they'd be happy to connect you. And I'm sure, now that we've kind of gone over some of the nitty-gritty details, obviously the prize pool part was pretty fun. We'll jump into some more of the high level, fun themes of this hackathon, as I'm sure everyone's very interested to learn who the judges are. And I am very happy to inform you that we have an all-star cast of judges for this hackathon. We have 12 judges total, including Dean Tribble from Agoric Opco, Alex Golding from Delphi, Henry DeValance, the founder of Penumbra, Eric Zhang, who is DoraHacks' own founder and CEO. We've also got CryptoCito, who's a very popular content creator in the Cosmos and AEZ ecosystem. We've got Suze from the Interchain Foundation, Aiden from Stride, Rena from AADAO, who works very closely with Yusuf, and she's put a lot of effort into getting this hackathon stood up as well. And then finally, our final 4 are Effort Capital from Blockworks, who's also working very closely with AADAO, Avril, the founder of Neutron, our very own Amir from LongHashX, who's joined us on our opening ceremony today, and Harrison, who is the technical partner at Faction, which is the crypto VC arm of Lightspeed, and he's very involved as a thought leader and KOL in the modular world, and does a lot of research and work in that, and we think that he'll be a great perspective to have on the judge panel. And if you would like to learn more about the judges, you can find all of their bios on this page as well. All of these judges are very, very excited to be participating in this hackathon at DoraHacks. We're very, very glad that they will be joining us. They're dedicating some of their very, very, very valuable time to review the projects that are submitting to this hackathon. So I would like to cordially thank them for doing that. We really appreciate your participation. And of course, during this hackathon, there will be ample time and an opportunity to get FaceTime with all of these judges. They can basically serve as mentors to a lot of you. So if you're a developer and you have specific questions, or if there's any judges that you're really interested in getting in contact with, we're happy to facilitate this. They're very much looking forward to reviewing your projects. And because it's such an esteemed panel, definitely the pressure is on a little bit, right, to make sure your project is as complete and thorough and thoughtful as possible. To really impress these judges, I think will take a lot. So the pressure's on to submit the best projects possible, but I think that's a good thing. And I know for a fact that the Cosmos developer community is up for the challenge. Another thing that's important to note, and I mentioned this at the very beginning of this opening ceremony, is that it's going to be full of content and workshops. You can find that workshop schedule here. Now, an important thing to note is that this workshop schedule is still evolving. As you know, when it comes to organizing like a huge event like this, a huge global event like this, there's lots of different time zones and schedules involved. So all of these workshops will get nailed down. Today is the first one, right? It's the opening ceremony, but additional workshops will get scheduled. The very first one is currently slated to be early next week. It will be a technical workshop hosted by binary builders on the Cosmos SDK and deploying some modules. We always like to do that at the beginning of hackathons, right? Have some technical workshops to introduce the stack to developers, answer any questions they may have, etc. So we're definitely going to have a lot of those. We're going to front load the hackathon with technical content in terms of workshops for developers. But that's not all. There's also going to be very educational related workshops and business related workshops. Alex from Delphi is going to present a workshop on how to pitch in bear markets, what startups need to know in this environment. So of course, if you're working on a very important core infrastructure for Cosmos Hub and you're interested in bringing it to production, this is a workshop, that could be very interesting to you if you haven't raised before, or even if you have raised before but are still looking to pick up additional tips directly from investors who are committed to funding this ecosystem. I think that would be a very valuable workshop for you. But of course, in addition to that, we're still going to be scheduling workshops from all of the existing ICS chains, including Noble, Stride. We'll definitely love to host a workshop, and Duality as well. But overall, I just want to point out that this workshop list is evolving. But as soon as the dates are finalized, we'll make sure that to tweet it out, we'll make a huge announcement, and it will all get updated here. So all you need to do is continuously check this workshop schedule page on our website, as well as monitor our social media accounts. We'll make it very obvious when workshops get scheduled, what the date and times are, and send the community the links for them as well. But I would highly encourage anyone who is participating in this hackathon to attend as many workshops as possible. We think this is key to adoption and onboarding, right? Like the ability to host workshops and promote, these events throughout the Cosmos community is very important to us. And we feel very fortunate to have the ability to do so alongside AADAO and LongHash. So this is definitely something to look forward to if you're a developer participating. So please keep the workshops in mind as this hackathon gets started. And if you're not able to attend them live, the other important thing I would love to mention is they're all the recordings of all of these workshops after they're done will continuously get updated right here on this page. You'll be able to find the links even after the fact, and you'll be able to watch them back as many times as you want, at your own convenience. Finally, there's a tab on submission guide, and this is basically how to create a project, an account on DoraHacks, a project profile, and submit it to the AEZ Boost Hackathon. In just a few minutes, I will actually be walking through this process live, but in case you miss it, in case you're more of a written learner, all that information is going to be here as well. So if you're ever confused on how to properly submit to the hackathon, please just navigate to submission guide and you'll find all the information there. Okay, so at this point, unless there's anything else my two co-hosts, Amir and Yusuf, would like to jump in and mention, I will get started on the submission demo.
Nothing from my end.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, guys. In that case, I will jump into how to submit a project to this hackathon. So if you're in the audience and you're a developer and you haven't used the DoraHacks platform previously, this is for you. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come to our website. So I'm sharing this tab now. So this is our hackathon homepage. As you can see, the URL is dorahacks.io/hackathon. If you've just come to our website to the homepage, which is just dorahacks.io, you can easily navigate to the hackathon tab by clicking this link right here. And as you know, kind of like URL spoofing and phishing is quite prevalent in crypto, but getting better. But I would just like to point out that our website is dorahacks.io. That is the correct one. Make sure you're using this website, when you're reading about the hackathon and you're submitting a project. So once you come to the hackathon tab, dorahacks.io/hackathon, you'll see the AEZ Boost Hackathon highlighted right here in the upper right corner. You can click this to access the hackathon page. You'll also see it on the scroll bar down here. And if for whatever reason, if you come to the hackathon page and a different hackathon is highlighted right here, don't fret. It will be one of the very first ones down here where you scroll down and it shows Explore Hackathons. You'll always be able to find the AEZ Boost Hackathon right here at the top. But that said, it will obviously be highlighted in the upper right corner here quite frequently during the duration of this hackathon. So you'll oftentimes be able to find it right here. What you'll do next, obviously, is click on the hackathon page, which will bring you to where I was originally. Looks like this. So as you can see, I'm already signed in, but if you're not and you haven't had a DoraHacks account previously, right here in the upper right corner, there will be a sign up or create account button. And if you're creating a new account, we actually have multiple account creation options available. You can sign up with your email address. You can sign up with whatever wallet you want, MetaMask, even Bitcoin Lightning Wallet, etc. You can also sign up with your GitHub, which is actually the option I would recommend to most developers here. Given that it's a requirement to attach your GitHub to the submission anyway, it probably makes sense to just sign up with your GitHub because it can get automatically linked in that manner. So I would recommend choosing the sign in with GitHub option. Once you've done that, as I mentioned, you'll navigate to the DoraHacks hackathon page and come to the AEZ Boost Hackathon portal, which is what you're looking at now. So once all these projects are submitted, you'll actually be able to see them in real time, get populated and submitted on this tab here called Biddles. Obviously, this hackathon just kicked off less than an hour ago, so no projects have been submitted yet. But as they are submitted through the duration of this hackathon, you'll be able to view them all here. You'll be able to click on each of them individually. This is where all the information, you'll be able to find all the information about those projects, who's on their team, what the demo is, what the GitHub is, etc. And this is also the same exact portal the judges will be using to assess the project's description and demos and GitHubs as well. So please make sure you make your descriptions as robust as possible, as your submissions on this page are the same submissions the judges will be viewing directly. Okay, so you're welcome to register as a hacker as well. If you do that, you'll start some hackers already pre-registered in advance, and you'll be able to kind of put a little a profile together. This is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's kind of just for fun. You can see what other developers are participating, but totally up to you. Really what I want to show you is how to submit your project, and you'll do that with this button right here. Say you'll submit a biddle, and you'll see this screen right here, and you'll see two options. You'll see apply with existing biddle right here, and you'll see create new biddle. So I created a test biddle here, which is what this is. I'm not going to submit this one though. I'm going to create a new biddle for this. I think the only scenario in which you would apply with an existing biddle is if you have participated in DoraHacks hackathons previously. You've submitted a project for one of our previous Cosmos ecosystem hackathons. And all you need to do is maybe make some minor adjustments or add some minor integrations to a previous project to make it relevant for the Cosmos Hub hackathon. In that scenario, you would be able to apply with an existing biddle. But I think for 99% of developers, the correct route would be to create a new biddle for this hackathon, in which case you would click this button here and you'll be brought to this screen. So now that you're on create a new biddle, this is actually where you start building out the project profile for what you're working on. So you'll enter a name for your project. I'll put like Cosmos Hub Test. You'll attach a logo as well. We recommend you get super fun with the logo for your project. You're going to then specify the project source. Obviously, it would be hackathon in this scenario. I would type in AEZ Boost. You would also want to identify that this is a crypto Web3 project. And then in terms of a category, you could select kind of what it's related to. An important thing I would like to note is that all of these options here are just hashtags. Like if you click the wrong one, like don't worry at all. These are just like hashtags that will get attached to your biddle. That way, if someone's like doing a search on our website for like a certain category of projects, the projects that have selected those hashtags will show up for them. So it's basically just a way for people coming to our website to explore, the collection of biddles we have on our platform. But maybe I'm submitting some type of cross-chain infrastructure for Cosmos Hub. I can select that. And then for right here where it says infrastructures were currently deployed, obviously the correct answer for this hackathon would be Cosmos Hub. I'd scroll down more. I would put a tagline for my project. Like, as I mentioned, like say I'm submitting a new ICS chain that does voting or something like that. I would do like voting consumer chain. And then biddle description is where you actually go far deeper into what your project is. You have this actual text box and all of these options up here support actually all types of HTML and CSS graphics and types. Like not only can you just bullet point a description, but you can also attach GIFs, you can attach graphs, pictures, very informational like detail about your project, maybe a video you want attached to. This is your space to fully customize what the description of your project is. So we recommend you add as much detail as possible. Going down further, this is where you're going to enter some personal information related to the project so we can verify, we can verify what you're working on, and we can verify that the project isn't just submitted by a bot or something and it's submitted by a real person. So please enter your Telegram username here. Something I'd like to point out is this orange notice right here where it says, please enter a valid contact. Some people think that, they enter in what their Telegram handle is and they still see this here. They think that it's like an error. It's not an error. Everything's good. We're just like trying to highlight the fact that we really request that you attach, what your Telegram and what your Discord or WhatsApp or WeChat is if you have one. We really recommend you include these because getting in contact with these developer teams is super important, especially if you are a project that's accepted into one of the live demo days. We're going to want to make sure we can get in contact with you so we can invite you, and make sure you're available for those times. Going down more, here's where you add your team members. So say I want to invite Chris from DoraHacks to join my team. I would just type in his email right here. And then I click this button right here, and then he'll get sent an email to his inbox inviting him to join my project as a collaborator. And right here is where you would enter your team information. Like say you're a 3-person team, one of you's the front end dev, one of you's working on architecture, and one of you's like the blockchain engineer, right? You would put your team information, what your role is on this project, and what your previous experience is. Going down more, this is where we kind of get into some more of the important attachments. Like, as I said, like please attach a GitHub. This is going to be very important to be able to verify the legitimacy of each project. And then please submit a demo as well. A demo is basically like wherever your project is live on, like if it's live on a website, if it's live on like a Versal link, whatever, just please attach like what your MVP or what your demo is. And then right here is where you can link your demo video, which is actually like an in-depth video of you walking the audience through your project, like pointing out unique features, demoing functionality, etc. And then we also recommend kind of creating a fun Twitter account for your project as well. This way we can kind of like tag your project in posts about the hackathon, basically be like, oh, like look who submitted so far, look who will be joining us in one of the live demo days. We can bring some notoriety and exposure to your project that way. So definitely recommend, you creating a Twitter and attaching it here. And then Facebook, this is optional. I assume most of you won't have this for your project. DoraHacks has been around since 2014. So of course we had this functionality, if anyone does want to attach a Facebook, but totally optional and not necessary. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is agree to the user agreement right here. And you'll click that button. And then this is actually very important to remember. As you can see, once you do all of this, you'll be able to click submit BIDL and back. And what this basically means is you've just created your project profile, but you actually haven't applied to the AEZ hackathon yet. All you've done is create your BIDL profile. So that's why this says submit BIDL and back. So once you click the button, you fill out all the information, you'll click submit. You'll have basically created your you'll basically have created your project profile on DoraHacks, and then you'll be brought back to this page here. And now that you've created the BIDL, when you click this drop-down link here, you'll actually see the name of your BIDL as an available option at this point to apply to the AEZ hackathon with. So you'll select it in that case. Now you'll be able to select it to apply for it. And then you'll select what track you're applying for. Like say I'm applying for the ICS track, you'll select that option. Then you'll agree to the participant agreement one more time, and then you'll click submit hackathon application, and then you're done. You have officially submitted your BIDL to the AEZ Boost Hackathon. At this point, it will take approximately 48 to 73 hours for the project to get verified on the back end, and after which point it will be made visible in the BIDL tab here. I'll be able to click on your BIDL and view all of the information. Okay. Let me just see if there's any questions on that. I don't think so. Great. Okay, so that's the process from beginning to end of creating a profile on DoraHacks for yourself, making your account, creating a project profile, and then taking that project profile and submitting it to the AEZ Boost Hackathon. So once again, if anything in that wasn't clear, the submission guide can be found directly on the hackathon page itself. And if you have any other questions, you can, of course, always reach out to the DoraHacks team, and we'll be happy to help you if you're running into any issues. Sometimes it happens, and we're always, able to help those teams resolve. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you need to. Okay, so that concludes kind of the most of the fat that I wanted to cover in terms of how to operate the DoraHacks portal, why it's important to us, and like the specific details about the hackathon. I know this opening ceremony has gone on for quite some time now. Don't want to take any more of your time. The audience has already given us a lot of it. But just before we finally wrap up, I'd love to turn it over once again to Amir and Yusuf. Thank you both for being here. If you have any final words for the closing ceremony, any last like hoorah inspiration for developers, happy to turn it over to you now to get some final remarks.
You go, Amir.
Yeah, sure. From my end, very excited to review and to check out all of the exciting BIDLs that you're all going to submit. The space is very ripe for innovation, and you're all part of it as well. So together, just think it's a very exciting time for the ecosystem as a whole. Personally, super stoked to be here.
Yeah, I would say that I'm also extremely excited to participate and fund this event. I think that the core building happens during bear markets. So I would say this is the best time to contribute to the future of the Cosmos Hub and the AEZ. We want to support builders and developers as much as we can and contribute to a positive culture where developers are the centerpiece of the ecosystem. I think that all the ingredients are there to have a successful hackathon. So I'll just finish by saying good luck to all the participants, and we're looking forward to seeing what emerges from this event. Thank you.
Thank you both, Youssef and Amir, and thank you both for your time as well today, joining me on this opening ceremony. Definitely appreciate your support. Could not have done this without you, and think that your involvement will help make this event even better. So thank you both. And of course, thank you for everyone in the audience. I actually don't see any questions at this time, but if anyone does want to ask anything, once again, please don't feel afraid to reach out. You can reach out to myself directly. You can connect with DoraHacks on Twitter, on Telegram, and of course on Discord. I'm sure the same goes for Youssef and Amir at Atom Accelerator DAO and LongHashX. If you want to reach out to them and have any questions, please feel free to do so. I'm sure they'll be very kind and happy to answer any questions you have. At the end of this opening ceremony, we'll share all of the relevant contact information links to the audience as well, so you can do so if you desire. But with that being said, the AEZ Boost Hackathon has officially begun. We're very excited to see what developers submit to this hackathon. Really think it's an amazing opportunity for Cosmos Hub and AEZ developers. It's the first of its kind. So definitely, if you haven't participated in the hackathon yet this year, now's the time to do so. This is a very exciting opportunity. And thanks everyone for joining the opening ceremony and supporting this hackathon and helping collectively to make it a success. Everyone in the audience, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining. Youssef and Amir, thank you so much for joining. And with that, the opening ceremony is concluded and the hackathon has begun. I'll see everyone during the subsequent workshops and demo days at the end. So thank you all for joining.